Ladies and gentlemen, denizens of the interwebs, welcome back to the Deplorable. This content has been removed due to the EU's new policies.
Oh, you got a license for that?
Begging
Nope,
comes from Blip's door. You got a license for that?
Don't say that. It could actually happen.
Oh, you might.
Alright, so we got some topics today, but first we have to introduce from my left to my right. First, Beggar Hero.
Howdy ho, everybody.
Blippity Blop.
Have you heard of the High Elves?
See, well,
Howdy, all.
returning yet again, he is no longer guest, he is now regular Caleb.
Good evening. I am now an Article 13 compliant diversity hire.
Thank you, Caleb. Thank you. We are now back on the air.
And we have Gimpy back in our peanut gallery. And AK-47, your face.
High elves are the chosen people of the fantasy universe.
Lies.
Clip their ears.
And Bigfoot. He might be away from Mike, so.
He's got the mic muted.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have Bobster Man Wandering.
Don't call it gay sets. Call it Smash Bros.
I'm telling you, that was great. That was wonderful.
I still can't remember. I still saw that. I saw that tweet today, and I can't believe somebody thought about that.
You know it's been floating around people's mind for years, and they're thinking, no, there's probably already a meme for it. Then somebody actually looked. It wasn't there.
You know, yeah, but you know what? You know, a new thing. Apparently, Bowser being peachified. That's a thing.
Yeah,
Actually,
I've
it's
seen
the
that
other way
everywhere.
around.
No, I think
No,
it's. I think
I've
Bowser
seen
being
it. I've
peachified.
seen it. Bowser being peachified, and it's it's just, and I can already pick up the weird narrative. It's basically they're both fucking tired of the princess. So
Basically, Bowser became the girlfriend. He basically became a trap.
Well,
Yeah, magic.
by the way, I'm just more amazed that showed up on normie Twitter than anything else than the places I usually go. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I just saw it slowly start to creep up, and then my timelines just filled with it.
Spark, don't compare.
right.
You cut the safety line years ago. You're just hanging out at the bottom of the abyss. Not all of us are down there yet.
That's, like I said, why I'm amazed it's in normie Twitter.
Because it's the lewd kind of
It's fair.
roguish looking peach
it's
with
very
horns.
generic.
Degeneracy is everywhere.
And
Yes.
sharpened teeth. It's generic to say the least.
Yeah, it's just big titty peach with horns and some sharp teeth.
Okay.
You'll find that's degeneric, Zero.
And destroy someone's childhood at it.
Meh. That's still vanilla as fuck. Moving on.
Oh god, I know, but don't. Oh,
So, topic number one, relevant to most of us filthy Merkins. The Kavanaugh hearings have yet again been slightly derailed. They've been delayed till at least Thursday, where the lying bitch, Professor Ford, will be able to testify after Kavanaugh and when he's not in the room.
Is he allowed to testify after that to refute any claims?
No idea, but he has to testify first.
Doesn't matter, Zero.
So that's a
Women
no.
are biologically incapable of lying.
Look, I would say tell that to Mattress Girl, who I think is still currently being sued.
is she?
I haven't kept up with the trial in a long time. I know that I know the family's at least suing the college, and I think she was named in it.
It's for the best.
Yep.
Okay, so Gibby says yeah.
So the weird,
Give a bit of background, please, Spark, if you will.
so typical left-wing tactic out of the distant past, apparently 36 years ago, although she can't exactly remember when, despite her being 15. She can't remember the year.
And probably drunk at the time of the
This
alleged
woman
event.
claims that at a party, Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted, raped her. We can't tell which one of those because she said all three. interchangeably, apparently. Didn't speak up about it until 2012, supposedly. Although I don't think there was even really a name drop.
No name drop. The notes from the therapist that she said that 4 guys were involved. She's claiming that was an error on the therapist's part, and that the therapist. She said there were 4 guys at the party, but 2 of them did it to her. But
it's an error on the therapist's part.
Yeah, an error on the therapist writing down the wrong number.
The therapist got her memories, which she was discussing, wrong.
No, the therapist wrote the memory down wrong when it was being told. And here's the problem. This wasn't, a trauma therapy session or anything like that. This was a marriage counseling therapy session. I'm going to go with this.
Are you sure it wasn't Hillary Clinton?
I'm quite sure Hillary Clinton is not a licensed psychiatrist or psychologist.
Furthermore, to add in, and we covered this a little bit last week. Furthermore, to add to a wrinkle, Brett Kavanaugh's mother was involved in, a foreclosure on her parents' property. So we have this popping up 36 years later, conveniently as he's about to get nominated for the Supreme Court. Does this sound like Roy Moore bullshit, like anybody else?
Like anyone actually
to play a little devil's advocate for the Roy Moore thing, there is some supporting evidence to it. The people did talk to other people around the same time that this individual did this to them, but these are highly unreliable sources. And
why wait till now, Cyril?
Yeah.
Why wait
till
now?
No. What I'm saying is what some of the accusers. They have some. I don't know what's legally called, but there's a term for it. It's basically they talked about it nearby with people nearby the time that it happened to them, and a lot of people did come forward, so that does lend some credence, but not always. So that one with the Roy Moore, it was definitely gray. This one is clearly black and white.
Well, here's the thing with Roy Moore.
Yeah.
The accusations came from the ether as though delivered.
Yeah.
To the left wing.
Yeah,
and
there are questions.
Then after that he went nowhere. Where did that case go?
Disappeared.
But
Roy Moore also didn't sue the people for libel and slander.
Probably because he couldn't prove it.
Wondering, what were you trying to say?
Can anyone actually name one of the women now?
Nope.
The accused Roy Moore? No one can.
I know that one was an alcoholic and a drug addict at the time she alleged she was abused. Yeah. Or at least an alcoholic, but later on in life a drug addict.
Yeah, it's like, hey, let's make this huge case of sexual assault, and let's just disappear.
Furthermore, in the current one, the other person named as a witness, as pretty much on the record, is, I don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Well, are you talking about Mark Judge, I think it is? Mr. Judge. I know his last name is Judge. Well, the thing about Mr. Judge is his role in the story has changed like 3 or 4 times so far. First, he was a participant. Then he was a participant but had a change of heart and tried to stop him. Then there was a version where he was a participant but he was fighting fighting Kavanaugh for control. And the final one was he just tried to stop it. So there's he's been in 4 different roles in this entire story that are completely exclusive to each other.
Yeah. Now, to further muddy the waters, apparently this woman is terrified of flying. That's why she refused to fly to D.C. by Monday, which is why it's been extended to Thursday.
It got extended? Really?
Well
yeah,
that's convenient.
It's extended until Thursday. She was supposed to appear.
Not so that she can be coached on what to say. No.
Yeah.
Well, you want to know? Here's the kicker that completely bunks her claim of being afraid of flying. To get her PhD, she flew to Hawaii.
How long ago was that?
A while.
So, look, the whole terrified of flying thing, people can gain phobias at random times in their life for very odd reasons. I'm trying to avoid the bullshit. The bullshit claims that'll get easily shot down. So I'm saying we need to focus on the serious stuff.
She also claimed immediately after the 2016 election she was going to New Zealand. I don't think she can afford a boat.
Okay, yeah, that's a little less likely. Well, I'm going to put this. I'm going to press X to doubt. All who doubt, press X, please.
Press F to have some doubt.
X.
F.
X.
X as an X-ray.
No one gets the Call of Duty reference. Wow.
Yes, we got the Call of
Press
Duty.
F to pay respect. Press X to doubt. They're the
Separate memes.
yeah, they're separate memes, but they're two on the same coin, two different sides.
Fucking console peasants.
I know, right? Jesus Christ.
I never played out. I never played out of the game, so yeah.
It's somehow so coincidental, Sewell, that
Yeah.
someone who suddenly developed a fear of flying is taking so long to traverse the country,
Yeah.
and it just
On top of the fact that
within the delaying tactics of the Democrats.
Yeah.
on top of that, the lawyer who looks like Skeletor in a fucking wig.
Gary Busey.
No, straight up Skeletor. That's a sunken in fucking face.
Gary Busey. It's the chief dude.
Wait, I'm curious now. What's the name of the guy? I need to see this.
Girl.
It's
Oh,
a
God,
female.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's female Gary Busey.
What's her name?
It's
one
Gary
cares.
Busey, but with a front hole.
I don't even.
I have no idea what the lawyer's name is. All I know is apparently
Okay,
They-
Blip post. I don't know if you were here for it, but Blip posted a link to an article that includes the image. I'll repost
I
it.
shall post it again.
but
I beat you to it.
Yellow. Bastard.
apparently the lawyer has made a statement that it's not on her client's job to prove guilt.
Despite-
Okay? The specific quote she was making, just so people know, she didn't say that. She said that it is not our job to prove the innocence of our claims, which is even stupider. It is lawyer speak for we don't have to tell you anything.
Holy shit! It is Gary Busey.
Told you.
Holy shit!
Yeah, you know, it's
Don't you
all-
dare insult
It's the
Gary
teeth that look like a row of urinals.
And right as this actually at the moment they're claiming there's a second witness coming forward. There's claims. No one's actually shown up. That this will be the thing that'll sink the Kavanaugh confirmation.
Well, the thing is, they're saying what I actually read the headline of one of these articles. Like, they say, all we need, they're talking. The Democrats are talking about bringing another witness in to sink Kavanaugh if they can find them. Here's the problem. Look, even though it doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things, there are people who, from the time when he was that age, vouch for his character. He doesn't have any history with his employees of ever abusing them. If anything, apparently was one of the greatest judges some people have ever worked for in their careers because he bent over backwards to help them where he could.
And also, I heard like 35 women signed over saying
65.
it's a good.
65
shit.
women from the early 80s when this allegedly happened, who knew him in the early 80s when he went to school. I would presume teachers, not fellow classmates because he went to all-boy prep school, but girls in the area, things of that nature. People who knew him or worked with him in some way at that time.
And I love how all this is coming to fruition when he's becoming a
Supreme Court nominee.
and not when he was becoming just a district judge.
Yeah.
That's the kicker, isn't it?
Why didn't you do it? I don't know. A few more years back.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have a question for you Americans. Aside from why would anyone ever want to be a Supreme Court judge now, has any other nominee ever been through such a
No.
ridiculous grilling process?
Yes,
Kind
yes.
of.
There's one, and that is Clarence Thomas, right,
Yeah.
Sewell?
Yeah, Clarence Thomas had a similar thing show up, but it wasn't this delayed. It was more. They were just trying to sink. They were trying to torpedo him. Problem is, it backfired on them, and it didn't work. I can't remember the name of the woman, but a woman came forward claiming that
Anita Hill.
Anita Hill. Anita Hill came forward claiming that Thomas abused her. She worked for him at one point, and I think she was either fired or resigned. But it was one of those things that claim had more credence to it, and it failed.
Hmm.
And right now we're dealing with the same thing. And the thing that I find hilarious Look, one of the problems is that is it McCaskill who's from Alaska?
Missouri.
No.
Missouri.
Which is the one from which is the Republican who should be a fucking Democrat that's from Alaska?
I don't know who, but it could be Jeff Flakes you're talking about.
No,
Actually-
Jeff Flake is just trying to salvage what legacy he can from this.
Actually,
Trying to get it justified.
Flake's actually pissed at the media right now for that.
Yeah.
They media was trying to report that he's just going to vote present on the hearing. He said, "No, that's not why I plan on voting. Where did you get your information?"
Yeah, and basically there's one defecting Republican who's being a fucking moron. Guys, you're not looking at the long term here. If you let this sink Kavanaugh, they will use it again, and again, and again, and again. They did it with... I warned people that if we listen to the Moore thing, if we do not be exceptionally questioning of these individuals who come forward, demanding that they provide corroborating witnesses, evidence, basically like you're throwing a hand grenade at a guy in a political election. You better have a damn good reason for why it took this long.
Right. Well, there has to be consequences to this.
Yeah, look, that's why I think that I don't think you should have to be able to prove liable. If somebody made a claim about you and they cannot back it up, it is automatically liable. Or it's automatically slander. That should be how the courts work. You have to prove your statement true. They don't have to prove your statement false.
Of course, but this is going against our traditional sense of justice because we believe they're
No.
innocent before
Here's the
guilty.
thing. No. Here's the problem. If you are spreading false information, knowingly or unknowingly, you are doing damage to someone's character. That is what you have done. We have the clear evidence.
Defamation laws.
Yeah. The problem is our defamation laws say that you have to prove that there was malice, which is very hard to pull off. I think Britain's system's a lot easier, where you guys basically, if you've spread a statement and you cannot support it, it is automatically sliable or slander.
You have a license for that hate speech, Seawell.
You realize that these are not tied to hate speech laws; these are tied to something else entirely. And hate
Right.
speech
You're
is
going to be
not
deported.
is not
Deport him.
lies.
Deport him.
I'm already in the greatest country on earth, and we're trying
Deport
to
him.
Blip. Get over here already! It's too
No.
late.
No.
Don't make me send you to Venezuela.
AK.
I mean, if you want to swap, by all means, be my guest. But
I'm going
What?
to decline that offer, Caleb. AK. Bigfoot. Anything you want to add to this?
I only think this is all a sham, and it's just being drug out as long as possible. It's this shit just like the Mueller hearings and all that other stuff. The investigation is getting dragged out to as close to the midterms as possible, as far as many low blows as they can make, and it's.
This is a very risky game they're playing, because if anything goes wrong in this process, if a memo gets leaked that they are trying to, if a memo gets leaked at some point that, we're doing this for political gains to try and take back the House, it will backfire. And
Admitted that, Seawell.
what was that?
Haven't they pretty much admitted that?
They
They're very
haven't.
brazen about their tactics.
Okay, Blip. Remember, we see through this shit. We know where to look for this. I'm talking
Well,
like.
Let me back that up to a degree. Have you guys paid attention to the recent Project Veritas video?
Oh yeah, that deep state officials are
Right.
screwing with things.
And pretty much open admission and pride over what they're doing to cause as much disruption as possible. Now, I obviously am nowhere near as learned on the internal mechanisms of your laws, but surely there has to be some kind of consequence of these kind of stunts, so that there isn't an incentive to keep doing this, because you have the midterms, but then you have the elections for 2020. And if they learn that there is no consequence to all sorts of, well, it's not even underhanded, outright criminal tactics, what's to stop
Arguably
them from doing
treasonous.
something even worse in 2020?
Arguably treasonous,
Yes.
which is a crime I think that can only be punished by death in the U.S.
There has to be some kind of line.
Yeah, and the problem is the
clear-
Republicans don't have the spine to do it. The Republicans need to grow up. this whole principles argument. Guys, they are taking your principles, weaving it into a rope, and strangling you with it.
Fine, I'll do it.
Time.
Bomb.
Just look. Should we keep some principles stored in the shed in case we need them for rainy day? Yes, but they're fighting dirty. They've hit us with nuclear weapons and chemical bombs. Maybe it's time for us to chuck a few ourselves.
See, no one said anything about fighting dirty. You don't have to fight dirty. You just have to
Fight.
uphold the fucking law.
Mm-hmm.
Uphold the law.
But the problem is the people who
They're circumventing the law.
yeah. But the problem is, Blip, if the Republicans were to do an actual investigation at the congressional level into all of this, the amount of rot they're going to dig up will end their own political careers. Do you think these guys haven't been abusing these same systems?
No, I'm pretty sure they have, but get somebody who hasn't. Get somebody who has some kind of...
Blip, you're talking about having to replace every single sitting Republican senator and congressman, nearly. You're talking about having to get a couple
You'll win in the long
hundred.
term.
You'll need a couple hundred Donald Trumps to pull that off.
What was the election slogan? Drain the swamp?
Yeah, and the problem is the Republicans are part of the swamp. Trump is doing what he can.
And many of them stood up to him during the election.
Yeah, and they're
Drain
not
them
getting.
too?
Yeah, and they're how the balance of power. Should Trump declare?
Helicopters.
Should Trump declare
Helicopters.
himself a dictator? Should he declare himself?
Helicopters.
should he
Okay, we're
dissolve
getting-
authorities?
Without flaws.
We're getting
Yeah.
lost here.
Yeah. Look,
Next topic then. We're going to move to something a little bit more lighthearted, not as contentious. Disney has admitted they fucked up.
I beg to differ on the contentious.
I said not as contentious.
keywords there, Blip. Keywords.
Mm-hmm.
So Bob Iger basically said that we released way too many Star Wars movies too fast.
You don't say.
No,
It's almost,
they released way too many shit Star Wars movies.
They're not going to admit that, and you know it.
Rogue One was okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it more
In
than.
comparison,
In comparison,
No,
but
on
it's,
its own, it was an okay movie.
it's carried by the nostalgia. You have your X-wings, your
it's
TIE
entirely
fighters.
dependent.
Mhm.
I mean, I did enjoy it, don't get me wrong, but...
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Go on, carry on, Spot. Sorry.
Hold on, I'll be right back. Go ahead, guys.
Well, that's basically it. I mean, it's just the thing is, you'll know Kathleen Kennedy's kind of disappeared. This guy's taking the heat for her fuck ups now.
Yeah, but that means she saves. And that means that she gets to continue churning out this utter horseshit.
Yep, we have somebody quote unquote higher up the food chain that's eating the bullets here.
Fucking white knighting.
Oh, hardcore. So let me just really check.
Oh, he can shove his apology up his front hole.
Ryan Johnson should never touch anything ever again.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Okay, so oh shit! Oh no, wrong click. No, I don't want to. No clicks for them.
On right now? Oh my god!
Too late. You click
Doing
it.
a podcast?
No, I backed out. God, there's not a single. Okay, we'll get there because this isn't a major site.
Was it a Disney site?
No, it was worse.
BBC?
Worse.
CNN?
I didn't see that until after I clicked it.
Alright, Spot, you're going into the naughty room.
Alright. To the
I
duel.
deserve that. But anyway,
Caleb, congratulations. He's tainted himself. We'll be sending him to Venezuela and getting you out of there.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And don't worry, Spart will be running the place inside of a month.
Brings new meaning to the term trading places.
okay, so let's see. The Disney CEO Bob Iger is taking complete blame for there might be too much Star Wars, and he's taking blame for the misstep in a candid new interview. When stepping back and looking at the big picture, he admits, quote, "As I look back, I think the mistake I made, I take the blame, was a little too much too fast. Do expect some slowdown, but that doesn't mean we're not going to make films. JJ is busy making 9. We have creative entities, including Benioff and Weiss, who are developing sagas of their own, which we haven't been specific about. And we are at the point where we're going to start making decisions about what comes next after JJ's.
You fucking disingenuous cunt. It's not the number of films, it's the lack of quality.
But I
is
think we're going to be a little bit more careful about volume and timing, and the buck stops here on that. So basically, all he's saying is that we're releasing them too fast.
Yep, last time I checked, Star Wars was the only thing keeping Disney in the black.
And that's not lasting long.
Yeah. If these movies keep going down this road, we could see Disney start selling off IPs to keep itself afloat.
Goodbye.
Especially because, well, actually, no. Here's the thing: they just got Fox.
Yeah.
No, okay, Spark, you've got to realize that even though the current Disney execs want to hold on to that stuff, if the company starts turning quarter-over-quarter losses for about a year or two, that's when the investors start getting spooked, and then
that's when they start panhandling to stay afloat like they've done for the last 50 fucking years.
Yeah, like the Last Jedi, the Blu-ray sales are like a lot worse
and
than
the tactic
the.
can't keep working due to the advancements in digital distribution. These whole release from the Disney Vault thing doesn't work anymore. It won't work. They've already released all the special features, the deleted scenes, all that stuff. Disney's
Well,
No, George Lucas is always somehow able to find more hidden footage of Mark Hamill pulling a Coke bottle out from his ass.
Well, now think about this. This just adds more properties to their lineup with the acquisition of Fox. So technically, they can remake, reboot, remaster a whole bunch of shit. Like one of the films I actually challenged Disney, just no matter what anyone says about it. Anastasia. That was under Fox Animation.
And that was
Granted,
that was a movie that was meant to take on Disney.
And it actually did fairly well for that. Especially when you consider it was done by Don Bluth.
Pixar's owned by Disney, isn't it?
Well,
Kind of. Pixar...
They still have their tentacles on it. And
Yeah.
it's been a very successful company over the years.
it's basically second-party Disney.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is possibly the most...
Disney needs to be slapped hard with antitrust.
That's a separate aspect. But in terms of what they've done with Star Wars, it's the biggest money-grossing IP in history.
And they fucked it up.
They fucked it up. Well, they fucked it up not necessarily themselves, but by allowing these talentless fucking gremlins to shit.
Oh, speaking of which, I'm going to inject this in here because it's relevant.
Quick, I'm going to say one name. If Disney fires the entire current creative staff of the new Star Wars movies and hires this guy as the new helm of all of it, would you watch the movies?
George Lucas.
Timothy Zahn.
Fuck you, Spark. Fuck you.
Timothy Zahn.
Yes. However, there's a caveat.
He must have total creative control.
Depends very much on who they take with him.
No,
Because
he's the
all
one
these
leading this.
numbskulls-
No, he's the one who decides who
Yes.
gets what role.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
If it's
Mark
just him
Lucas.
blindly. Oh, and again, fuck you, Spark.
But throwing this in here because it's actually relevant, because Ryan Roundhead Johnson did something stupid. Place your bets, boys.
Hold on to your front holes.
The left wing mob might be about to come down on Ryan Roundhead Johnson really fucking hard. So apparently a Star Wars fan who is a tranny was getting attacked by a TERF BBC comedian. For those who don't know the term, TERF, trans-exclusionary radical feminist.
Otherwise known as the only
Dykes
sane...
have realised that they let the cat out of the bag and that the monster they created is now eating them.
I was going to go with the radical feminist that makes sense.
Mine
Kind
was
of.
much more subtle.
But, so apparently Ryan Roundhead Johnson has decided to like and retweet said TERF that was attacking a Star Wars fan.
Biggest misclick of your career, Johnson.
It was more than once.
Guys, I make a proposal. We strip Ryan Johnson of his property, and we give it to Caleb, and we get him the hell out of there.
Yeah, man.
That's a given.
Get him out of there first.
That'd be a way to subvert his expectations on life.
But yeah, so on top of everything else, we have Ryan Johnson. I mean, granted, we're seeing some outcry from the people defending Last Gen. It's like, how are you doing? How could you? So that's all we're seeing at the moment. So I might have stumbled on this in the beginning of the Avalanche.
Yeah, but this is the sort of shit that you can't get rid of, because the left, when they find a target to latch themselves onto, particularly when it's the completely cucked variety, they go down
I
them hard.
I might have stumbled onto this before the Avalanche begins.
They don't even spit out the bones.
So
How long ago was this tweet, Spot?
Couple days.
Didn't something similar happen to J.K. Rowling recently?
J.K. Rowling's been basically a turf from the word go.
Anybody would like to add? Don't be shy.
Fuck Ryan Johnson.
I know, right?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm not gonna. He's sinking with this boat. I'm not throwing him a lifeline.
I'm not even gonna look in his eye. I'm not even gonna look at him.
Actually, no.
I am.
I'll throw him a lifeline if he does one thing. He publicly announces The Last Jedi is terrible. It's entirely his fault, and that he's recommending that Timothy Zahn take total creative control of the franchise.
And
allowed
then
to
walk
fire
away so you
anyone.
all.
Yeah.
Then don't throw him the lifeline anyway and just walk away.
Exactly.
Andre, the thing is, I'll look him in the eye as he sinks beneath the mob and begs for help. I'm just gonna look him in the eye and smile.
You might find that a bit difficult. Apparently his head is extremely wide.
It might float.
No. Here's what you do. You extend your arm, and you have the lifeline on your hands. But as soon as he's about to grab it, you pull it from him, and you are basically subverting his expectations.
It won't help him, because the length of his arms is inversely proportionate to the width of his head.
Someone needs to do a Death Star trench run on his head.
I believe that's where it was filmed.
Alright, so unfortunately... Okay, you know what? We're going to keep this a little more lighthearted before we get back into the serious topics. So Fat Mike, a.k.a. Michael Moore, his new movie flopped hard. Harder than him hitting the buffet.
You're less likely to get AIDS from this. You're more likely to get AIDS from this than from drinking the water in Michigan.
Oh.
Tell us, how was the movie, like, the rating-wise?
Rating-wise, critic ratings like 4s and 5s.
Obviously.
I wonder why.
I'm sure Rotten Tomatoes have given it,
Hold on.
outstanding scores.
Let's take a look, shall we, gentlemen?
Audience is 54% on Rotten Tomatoes.
IMDb has given it a 5.4 out of 10.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes, the critics rated 79%, audience score 54%.
Told you.
Metacritic 77%.
Told you. Well, I didn't tell you about Metacritic, but...
Well, I'm looking at the Metacritic. The user score is still negative, like 3.
They must all be racists.
Yeah, the alt-right just breathing in all the reviews.
Bigfoot, is your mic working?
It's still muted, so I guess that's a no.
No, he just texted, yeah.
Okay, so I'm guessing now.
Okay. I
So-
thought you'd fallen asleep, Bigfoot.
Let's see if there's any other data. Let's see. Budget was $4 to $5 million, apparently.
What the fuck on? His breakfast?
Box office 1.1.
Was it available? Was it available only in select theaters?
No, it was his parents kept going to every available cinema.
Yeah, just to let you guys know, that box office number, that's the gross. Take about 50% of it.
Okay, guys, I have to clarify this. I am sorry. Apparently, it updated information. It released yesterday.
Okay, so that's the first day.
It's being shown. Actually, it's being shown locally. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Just around me, there's like
Yeah, I noticed there
1,
were a couple
2,
of theaters in my
3,
area.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 fucking theaters showing it just around me.
Probably about the same thing with me.
Which means this is actually, even though it may make its budget back, the budget does not include things like advertising as well as the costs to the theaters
Marketing
themselves.
overall.
Yeah. So this thing's
He probably got Uncle Soros to help him with that.
Oh, guaranteed.
Wait a minute, but I'm seeing stuff like okay, just as a side note, the Hollywood Reporter says weekend box office: House with a clock on its walls, eyes 25 million, while Fahrenheit 11.9 falls flat.
I mean, it's sort of funny how the movie was gonna have producers, the Weinstein brothers, in it.
One day, Spark, you might see Michael Moore stacking shelves in your local supermarket.
Give him a nice
Wearing-
hard wedgie for us.
Wearing a MAGA hat.
That'll be a far cry from his days of.
Okay, so apparently, unless traffic picks up, Fahrenheit 11.9 is heading for an 8th place finish with only $3 million from 1,700 theaters.
That's a lot of theaters.
Michael, I know you're not listening to this, but either way, I have a suggestion for you.
So, yeah. Apparently, pre-release tracking suggested the movie was going to pull 5 to 6 million. So, from 1,800 theaters, on opening day couldn't get its budget back on a low-budget film.
Yeah, that's extremely bad because, again, you lose about half of the box office gross to the theaters. The rest goes to the studios.
Right, and this isn't a one-time new kid on the block. This is someone who's a darling of the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, his words are considered gospel. So, yeah, even though
Do you think it's
may be
true
the
that a
first
David
day, Scott.
Hogg?
Can I finish my point, please, Sewell?
Sure.
Even though it may be the first day, this is absolutely terrible. This is the poster child of the resist movement.
Yeah. Remember when he said he laughed in your face when you said you were voting for Hillary Clinton? And then he's like, oh my God, you can't vote for Trump, vote for Hillary. I'm like, which one is it?
You done fucked up, kid.
Yeah.
Well, again, 1,700 theaters, only $3 million on a $4 to $5 million movie.
They ain't gonna do well.
And remember that budget number, that's probably not covering everything. You know how Hollywood's a little bit slimy on the budget information.
So yeah, there's that. Next topic then. Now that we're gonna keep being lighthearted, although we can poke fun of this guy. I can't pronounce his name correctly, most likely, but Beto O'Rourke has suggested.
But I know that we're on a new topic there, but I just did a quick calculation. It works out as $1,764.7 per cinema.
On average movie ticket, considering the cinemas I'm looking at, let's say $8.
That's a little low. I'd say closer to 10.
So let's call it $10. So yeah, that's 176 tickets per cinema.
To make the budget back?
That's
No,
that's
just how much,
current.
based on how much they make.
Jesus.
176 per cinema. Jesus Christ.
Can we move on?
Okay.
Anyway, so Beto O'Rourke has all but declared we need to have illegal immigrants because damn niggers ain't picking our cotton. Let me explain. He wants 1,200. They have to grant amnesty to 1,200 immigrants in order to pick cotton for the cotton gins.
When did this become 1860?
Sweet cherry.
No, not 1860. This the 1800s. Everything before that.
So yeah, so the Democrats are complaining because black people aren't picking their cotton anymore. So we need Mexicans to do it.
I do declare.
Okay, let me.
Cotton industry. Have you guys considered, the new cotton picking technology of, basically pulled by a tractor or run by a couple of semi-skilled farmers, and the overall costs are actually lower?
It gets worse. He's a representative from Texas.
Ooh.
And he's a Democrat.
They didn't blame Texas, honestly, and not really his political side.
No Democrat ever owned a slave.
Haha.
Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. He's not even truly he's running against Ted Cruz.
He gonna lose.
How's that going?
Not overall, I would assume not well.
I think Cruz is 10 points ahead still.
Oh, I guess the Zodiac killer is gonna claim another victim. So.
Yeah, I mean, at least with all the polls, where's Ted Cruz got 4+ overall?
Yep. Looking at, these are pretty old polls too, but the most recent one, Quinnipiac, has him 9 points ahead. CBS 11, Dixie Strategies has him at 4. Let's see. I'm just going to check. Yeah, there isn't a single poll where during this entire time where Cruz is losing. And Quinnipiac has been kind of fluctuating, but it's still fairly accurate.
But either way, yeah. So we have a Democratic attempted representative from Texas saying that we have to have Mexicans pick our cotton.
Blip, since you know the song.
Gonna jump down, spin around, pick a bale of cotton. Gonna jump down, spin around, pick a bale of day. Oh Lord, pick a bale of cotton, pick a bale of day. I do not remember the tune. Fuck you, Seo. That implies I was there.
No, the Swing Low Sweet Chariot song.
Oh, that one.
I was referring to that
implies
one.
I was there too.
No, it's a song a lot of people have at least heard once in their life.
Swing low, sweet chariot.
Well, now the meme is gone. Now the meme is gone. It's been ruined. Great job, Blip.
You're welcome.
Speaking of Brits and ruins, Brexit has been rejected by the EU.
Blip, I'm hoping you're planning to go to local Catholic church and say some Hail Marys on this one.
Actually, there's one very close. Bear in mind that Catholicism is the minority here. Can I say something about this spot? Right, to put things into perspective for those who may be...
Yeah, good.
Theresa May, who, to everyone's misfortune in this country, is Prime Minister. And aside from not knowing the difference between her arse and her armpits, managed to come up with a deal so bad it would have made anybody in Brussels most direct over how much it fucks us in the backside. Whilst supposedly granting us independence from the EU, whilst making us at the same time completely subservient to it. Amazingly, the EU have rejected this. The insanity. Anyone with half a brain cell within the EU should have grabbed this because it would have shown them to be compliant with giving into Britain's wishes, at least externally, whilst at the same time maintaining full control over Britain. Yet they've rejected it. We've dodged a bullet. And how?
That depends.
So the greed of the EU is so, and ineptitude is so massive that they have actually done the best thing for Britain.
Yes.
For those that actually listen, here's essentially what the Checkers Papers were a complete and utter surrender. It was basically worse than the French.
In all but name. In all but name.
While surrendering to the French.
Yes, ironically enough. And the EU rejected a complete no terms surrender. Fuck us. Please fuck us up the ass, sir. Please, sir, may I have some more?
So what this means is, what the legacy media here fear is the quote-unquote hard Brexit. That basically means, fuck you, we'll do quite well on our own. We don't need anything from you. Thank you very much.
Let me translate that to American for some of you. Britain walks up, takes the mic, says, fuck you, I'm out, drops the mic, walks out.
It's like throwing the tea in the river.
What is your election
Hey.
to elect another prime minister?
Hey,
Brett?
America did Brexit first and we did it the best.
We did Brexit plus Trump.
Wait,
What were you wondering?
when do you elect a new prime minister? Or,
Well, we had an election last year.
oh,
It's every 4, it can be 5 years, but generally it's every 4 years. Now, that may change very quickly because if there's a vote of no confidence,
Which there should have been.
which there should have been, but there probably will be, because not only is she absolutely shit, in my view, she has absolutely no morals whatsoever, especially given her recent escapades with the South African government. And, perpetuating, there's no genocide here, there's no ill treatment going on here, it's just a conspiracy.
Yeah.
And then-
white nationalist right-wing conspiracy.
Oh yeah,
All
and then
right.
dancing to it as well. That in and of itself was a war crime.
it's like, oh hey, fuck all these white farmers. So said the president of South Africa.
White farmers? No, that's an oxymoron.
What Theresa May should have done with South Africa is send
Well,
basically say, I am
Bomb
condemning
the
your
shit
nation.
out of them.
I will not show up until this law is not only reversed, but an official apology is given and a promise to protect the farmers from the mobs.
That would be racist.
Anyway, back onto to Brexit. To put things further into perspective to those who, again, may have been living under a rock,
Theresa May is a Ramona. Now, David Cameron, what little credit I can give to him, did resign when his campaign lost. However, Theresa May got in through subterfuge, and the Conservative members were screwed over, basically, because she was not the winning candidate. The winning candidate had to stand down for some very strange reason.
Who was
No.
it, out of curiosity?
Andrea, what was her name again? Latham?
Was she
It's-
pro-Brexit
it's-
or anti-Brexit?
Oh,
Oh, she's
May,
pro-Brexit. She was pro-Brexit.
That explains why she had to step down.
Oh, yeah. Now, the thing is, though, is that recently there was a purge in the cabinet, and pretty much every Brexiteer got rid of. That in of itself is also quite alarming. So, given the nature of this rejection, somebody with balls does need to take over, and I do think that the the high-ranking members do need to put in their letters of resignation.
I would hope
And
that they
votes
choose
of no
Rees-Mogg.
confidence.
I'm hoping they choose Rees-Mogg.
I hope so too.
He's your best bet. Runner-up would be Johnson.
Rees-Mogg's made a
I
couple
don't
decisions
trust
lately.
Johnson as far as I can spit.
But do you have much of a choice?
Not really. No.
As I said, he'd make it. He's the runner-up. Doesn't mean he's a good one.
With the choice though, definitely Moggy, because he's one of the few people in politics who actually has.
I mean, hey, you could just have a general election and let what's his name take over from Labour.
Fuck you.
Flip. Those are your options.
No, better.
Rees-Mogg
Put
is
Sargon. No. Put Sargon on the ballot.
Yes.
No, oh god.
No.
Yes.
He would fuck that shit up so fucking hardcore. EU would declare war next goddamn day, guaranteed.
No, I just want to see what would
The
happen.
only war he'd declare would be in his game servers.
How many times did he fail with that?
I don't know. I didn't play Ark Survival or whatever that shit is called.
I've
Peasants
played it.
game.
It's on PC only.
It's a peasant's game.
I
I
can't
didn't
say
say
much.
console peasant. I said peasant.
No, it's actually on the Xbox as well. So,
Now it's a console peasant's game.
But anyway, yeah, that's the general gist there. Next
Heads
topic.
up,
I'm gonna be.
we're at 50 minutes. 52, actually.
All right. In that case, we're going to keep it a little bit again. Executive order to look into Facebook and Google practices. Just waiting for Donald Trump to sign it.
execute order. Sits.
I smell
Here.
antitrust laws.
Why haven't they been implemented by now anyway?
Because
Subterfuge for about 30, 40 years.
that and now that Facebook, Twitter, all of them are banning conservatives and not fearing any reprisals. Now the ban hammer can come down.
I'm hoping at the same time they do the antitrust, they also declare these companies no longer safe harbor, which means they are now open to lawsuits by all of Hollywood and the music industry, who are going to go, oh ho ho ho, we need money, and look where all the money is. It'll be like vultures. It'll be amazing to watch them go at each other's throats.
So yeah, we're finally about to tackle the long-standing problem of social media being, excuse me, basically being above the law,
Yep.
or at least not having any laws stick to them. Yay.
Antitrust laws are a
Really
bitch.
Pretty great. Really fucking great.
Speaking of shitty company practices, Google is working with Communist China and their social credit program,
Not surprising.
requiring users to log in to use their services. Said login is tied to their phone number, will track their search history, and send it to a quote-unquote independent Chinese company
Wow.
unilaterally.
Independent. Yeah,
Independent.
Quote unquote.
Free and fair.
If I remember right, any company based
Oh.
in China, 20% has to be directly owned by the government.
Oh, it gets better, apparently. According to what I'm looking at, here's what I got. The memo, authored by a Google engineer who was asked to work on the project, disclosed that the search system, codenamed Dragonfly, would require users to log in to perform searches, track their location, and share the resulting history with the Chinese partner who would have unilateral access to the data. Furthermore, people's search histories, location information, and other private data work will be sent out of China to a database in Taiwan, the memo states. But the data would also be provided to employees of a Chinese company who would be granted unilateral access to the system. To launch this censored search engine, Google set up a joint venture partnership with an unnamed Chinese company. The search engine will blacklist sensitive queries so that no results will be shown at all when people enter certain words or phrases according to the documents seen by The Intercept. Blacklisted search terms on a prototype of the search engine include student protest, Nobel Prize, and human rights.
Google, you know that whole no evil thing that you stripped? I think you may want to rewind the clock a little bit and maybe bar non-conservatives from ever having any power in your company. You might need to make a 180 on this one.
Furthermore, according to the memo, aside from being able to access user search data, the Chinese partner company could add to the blacklists. It would be able to selectively edit search result pages unilaterally and with few controls in place. That a Chinese company would maintain a copy of user search data means that by extension, the data would be accessible to Chinese authorities who have broad powers to obtain information that is held or processed on the country's mainland. A central concern human rights groups have expressed a lot over. So, yeah. Folks, that's the left-wing endgame.
Well, yeah, I mean, Google's already doing that with search results, so this is logical step.
And again, this ties into China's social credit system. Social credit is basically you have points that determine whether or not you can have access to public transportation, school, your own bank. Furthermore, your social credit score is affected by the people around you. As in, your sister's husband could say something stupid. That affects your score.
God,
so it's social policing, self-enforced social policing.
I just hope they don't fucking copy that idea here because we are strangely approaching that point now.
I'm not gonna lie, Caleb. I don't think Venezuela has the money to implement that system right now.
Well, I mean, the Chinese own us now, and so you don't know.
Yeah, but does China want to invest in that nation?
No, but what I mean, that type of social control, we have, a more rudimentary version of it with several things. Yeah.
Well, even North Korea has that, and that's just because the North Koreans just fucking imprison all your family, and second, third cousins too.
No.
Yeah.
They do punishment for 3 generations.
Yeah, but North Korea has yet to purchase its first 286.
Wait, look, one of the problems is that I'm seeing with, especially implants in the United States, people are noticing this. And
it's because it's not reported on the news sites and all that stuff. Well, it is kind of, but it's in the.
If it continues at the current pace it is, these companies are going to bleed out of users. There won't be any users left. And, well, that's game over for these companies.
One can hope.
All right.
But
we can already see what's happening here in Europe thanks to Article 13. It's actually quite scary.
Article 13 and 11.
Article 13 is completely unenforceable.
No, not in the US, but
no, in Europe, you will not have the ability to enforce it. Basically, you guys are going to have to pull off a North Korea-style internet system if you want to get anywhere near it.
Explain.
Okay, isn't Article 13 the system that basically says everything has to be pre-scanned before it's uploaded?
No.
I don't remember that specifically, but
yeah, I believe
there's all that. Within an hour of being notified, you have to remove said content or face the consequences.
And how many companies will have the staff available to pull that off? I can think of maybe Facebook and Google and Twitter. That means everything else is going to go, nope, we're not in Europe anymore. And, well, that's going to send your tech sector into a full tailspin.
Which is ironic, because this is supposedly to, quote-unquote, compete with Silicon Valley.
No, this will send your thing into a complete tailspin. Europe's looking at a full-on depression. They thought the depression of the 20s was bad, 20s and 30s was bad. This is going to be far worse.
Did I mention that the EU is insane?
Well, considering that we finally got an in-depth look of how the voting process works in the EU, yes, they're fucking insane.
Anything else anyone wants to add to this?
Boy, mate, you got a license for that?
No, I do
Well,
not.
Speaking of social media, conservative actor James Woods has been suspended from Twitter after tweeting a meme that covers conservatives being suspended from Twitter.
That'll teach him not to spread lies.
Haha.
Conspiracy theorist.
What a meanie.
This just ties into the rapid unpersoning of conservative voices from the internet. I mean, actually, just added to the mix, PayPal has refused any form of service to InfoWars and Alex Jones.
Yeah, we're gonna lose a bunch of people.
No. PayPal, you just stepped on a fucking legal landmine with that one. You've spent years making sure the government doesn't declare you a bank. Banks have very particular laws over their services. You can't, to my knowledge, I think there actually are laws saying a bank has to follow the First Amendment. You cannot punish someone and deny them service for things they do that are completely unrelated to the bank. As long as they are not breaking any laws, you are supposed to serve them. This will probably be the downfall of PayPal. Stuff like this.
But yeah, but what's the alternative? PayPal has a monopoly pretty much. At least when it comes to eBay.
You do realize that PayPal is but one service. Amazon completely cut them out. PayPal is not on Amazon, which is the largest.
Yes,
market.
yeah, but you're forgetting one major thing. They're setting a precedent, one which Amazon will be happy to follow. Is that to imply that Amazon isn't of the same political ilk?
No, they're not. Amazon is actually, even though they have individuals who are like that, Amazon is very weird in that they are very First Amendment when it comes to books. There are very few things they say no to on Amazon. As long as it's not straight up illegal, they're pretty much fine with it. It's very bizarre. It's
I guess you're right. I remember when Milo was selling his Dangerous.
Amazon doesn't give a shit because Amazon knows laissez-faire. As long as, again, it's not illegal or like a completely crazy beyond the pale thing, they're going to let it be shipped because, hey, it's money for them.
All the Chuck Tingle books are on Amazon, I'm pretty sure.
And, Blip, remember, when a service, even if it's a quote-unquote monopoly, when it becomes too overbearing for the consumer, it makes an opening. And yes, it would cost a lot of money to set up a system like PayPal, but that's 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Look at the technology, those blockchain technologies that have come out in recent years. That means
They do need to see a viable alternative, and right now I don't really see one.
And if you push people down this road, what if somebody used the technology of Bitcoin to produce an alternative to PayPal?
See, well, I'm not Venezuelan.
Fake currencies don't work.
No. It's not. I'm not talking about a fake currency. I'm saying using the technology behind it, the blockchain technology, the distributed distribution, where you can have people, just thousands of people, just running the software in the background, taking up almost no processing power. In exchange, they get a couple of pennies. They get a couple of pennies a day into a wallet somewhere, and you have almost no overhead cost, and yet you do the same stuff as these big companies, just like BitChute. I'm saying that there is a technology on the horizon that, well, actually, it's already here. It just hasn't been fully exploited yet. What these companies are doing is it's going to piss off. It's at some point going to piss off a programmer or a team of programmers enough that they say, "Fuck it, we're going to make our own."
By the way, some context here is the tweet in question.
Holy crap, it's been confirmed. Holy shit. And damn, we do have it. Okay. The last topic I had before moving the Kecker Cringe is something local to me because it happened near me. There was a mass shooting at the Mid-Atlantic Distribution Center for Rite Aid in Perryman, Maryland. 4 dead, including the person, the person wielding the handgun, and 7 shot, 7 wounded, 4 dead, which qualifies as a mass shooting. I don't care about the redefinitions on the left. That's a mass shooting. The person in question was a temp employee. Motives are still not known, but let's see. Well, Sewell actually learned this before I did. Yes, the person in question was born female, but was a transgender male. With a name that just doesn't exist. That is not a name. The name is Snochia. I'm not releasing last name. That's the first name. Snochia.
Wait, isn't that something from
That
the
sounds like
Star Wars
Nokia.
Cantina?
That sounds like Nokia. Is she named it her fucking cell phone?
No, it's a Tatooine-based alien.
Sounds like Russians again.
Beggar votes Democrat.
So, apparently the person was transitioning to become male. And this is sad. It's not. It says in this news article, it's not clear whether they prefer to be addressed using male or female pronouns. Who gives a shit? They're dead. Let's see. Anything else I can pull? Apparently,
Hang on a second. Did this not make national headlines?
well, apparently it did, which is really blop. It's even in the Daily Mail. I'm dead serious because it was a tranny. That's the headline. Friends say Maryland Rite Aid shooter was transgender. Well, and what's the rest of the headline?
Holy shit, he's right. Transgender Rite Aid employee killed 3 people for shooting herself twice in the hit. They've decided what pronouns to use. And wait, has been diagnosed with mental illness in 2016. Legally bought her gun 6 months ago. Hang on a second. But isn't there a gun crisis? Aren't we supposed to ban them all?
Okay, here's the thing. I've got a feeling that she was diagnosed with a mental illness of depression, or it's related to a transgenderism. The only way, and I believe it's the older legal term, but it is the legal term.
Gender dysphoria?
No. For a situation where you're stripped of gun rights, it's you have to be declared legally. I think it's a lunatic is the legal term. It's basically if you get declared this, they're committing your ass. You're not free at all. You're basically in a psych ward for the rest of, until such a time as you can be determined to be sane again. Because you're a threat to yourself or others. Yeah, that's what it means. Like, all that stuff. Because the thing is, if somebody has, let's say, a mild anxiety disorder, should they be stripped of gun rights? No, they have a mild anxiety disorder. That is probably managed. It's just they have an anxiety disorder. Or if somebody has a phobia, if somebody has a phobia of spiders, which is technically a mental illness.
Okay, Sewell, you're doing it again.
Yeah.
Actually, so apparently this person came out as transgender and to their family in 2016, which ties into the whole mental disorder thing. This person was considering hormone replacement therapy. Motive was unknown, still unknown. Friends think that the person snapped.
And Hayden Paladin did a video a couple days ago or something like that about should we bring back the state, or should we keep the state sanitariums around for this kind of stuff?
Honestly, I believe so. But the only reason I knew about this, because I don't watch TV anymore, was because in order for me to get to work, I have to go by there. And that entire town, Perryman, Maryland, was cut off. It was cordoned off.
The whole town? Just for that?
Well, yeah. it's a small suburb. There's only a few ways in by car. They cordoned off all the roads because there's apparently this isn't brought up, but supposedly there was another gunman that didn't get involved. They broke at the last second and ran. So that was what was going around. Business was, as bad a joke as this may be, business was dead that day.
Damn.
That wasn't intended to be a joke. We were not busy at work that day. But, yeah, so according to the Baltimore Sun, there is a chance that this might be the first transgender mass murderer.
Great. First for everything.
He broke new ground.
Ban guns. You have to ban the guns. Ban handguns.
Aren't you guys
Animal?
trying to ban knives because your murder rate has spiked above ours in London?
No, we already have banned knives. We're banning potato peelers now.
So shouldn't that tell you something, that maybe it's not the implement that's the cause of murder, but just a tool that's used in its execution?
See, you're completely wrong, because somebody got stabbed outside a poster saying that stabbings had fallen. I shit you not, that actually occurred. Should we wrap this up, guys?
All right, we can move into Keck or Cringe. So,
I
gentlemen,
have something to put forward for that.
go for it. You can begin.
My submission for Keck or Cringe would it'd probably be Keck, but I'm gonna paste it in the chat. It's a Twitter post about Telltale Games being shut down and some of their views.
Telltale is looking for more female applicants for this awesome creative director job.
Just scroll down. It's a bit of a thread.
Wait, did they get Brianna Wu? Please don't be a dick.
No.
Analysis, was it?
No, it's just a whole lot of the feminist stuff.
Wow.
Guys, I was going to give Season 3 a shot of The Walking Dead. Now I'm fucking not. I liked Clementine. Legitimately. She is a good character. You have the whole arc of her going from innocent to potentially her shooting someone that she cared about deeply.
That's season 2.
No, Season 1, she can shoot Lee.
Season 2, I said.
Yeah.
Laws are reactive, not proactive. What?
I think when we do stuff like this, we should probably figure out how to share screens and then, show the Twitter posts and stuff like that. Actually, give me a second. I can do that right now.
Yeah.
Look. We're already 15 minutes over as it is. So.
Yeah, I looked at it. Wow, that's
basically TLDR. Telltale's going under. It sounds like it's general mismanagement, possibly not helped by we want more female applicants. Definitely. Not
apparently they're hardcore feminists from the look of these Twitter posts.
Yeah.
It's such a shame. I enjoyed season 1 of The Walking Dead.
I never played a single Telltale game. I am glad.
I played The Wolf Among Us. That was pretty.
Man, I'm
enjoyable.
sad there's not going to be a season 2.
Yeah, The Wolf Among Us, season 1 of The Walking Dead, and Tales of the Borderland. Those are from
Tales of the Borderland was actually very good. It was actually arguably better storytelling than the Borderlands games because it actually explored the world.
Yeah, one of my favorite scenes is the finger gun scene. You should not just create that. I was like so creative. It's just a
Yep.
blast.
Spark can join you in that. I've never played a single Telltale game either. And
I would like to play the Jurassic Park game.
I've played it. It's very rough as a Telltale game. Good story, just very rough with the controls and puzzles.
But okay, so I'm going to introduce this for Keck or Cringe. I know I personally vote Cringe. Cornell University orientation packet basically tells students if they're privileged or oppressed, and it's meant to separate them.
Guys,
still doing this shit?
guys, segregation is bad, or at least you said it was bad. Now it's good again. At what point did you and the alt? At what point? Okay, guys, why are you and the alt-right agreeing on things? I thought you guys hated each other.
The packet lists gender, gender identity, race, sexual orientation, age, class, educational level, religion, nationality, childhood family structure, disability, ethnicity, size, use of English, and marital/parental status.
Bring on that segregation, baby. Bring it on.
According to the packet, this system is an efficient way to determine whether or not a student is privileged or oppressed. If you're oppressed, for example, if the packet says that you are oppressed if you're a person of size. So you're fat. Okay.
Person of size.
Oh my god, dude. Fuck.
Guys,
League of Fatties
With a new category, person of whale.
guys, we have new meme. They've given us a new meme, person of size.
Sparks, get that to the meme factories. Get that to the goddamn meme factories.
Oh, it gets better. Guys, it gets better. Think about it. People of color. It's shortened to POC. Person of size.
Right now instead of just thinking POC was bad, now they just giving us POS.
So where on the POS spectrum do you see yourself?
Do they have the belly wheel? That's the big question.
No, but every time they walk backwards, it goes.
You have a wide load sign on the back.
You have to have a police escort and close off
And
the
if
road.
they get big enough, whenever they walk, there's a sound of a sand trombone in the background at all times. Yeah, no, not sand trombone. From a tuba.
But, yeah.
What have you done, Spart?
So originally that was cringe, but I made some minds of keck out of it.
Mine.
Spark,
You unleashed a mountain.
Spartan, you are hereby ordered from this council to get this to the factories for immediate production. This
I will
must
do
be
my
spread.
I will do my damnedest, considering this is a university sanctioned packet.
Holy
So
shit! How am I
technically
going to
this is-
sleep tonight?
So this is official language.
Which means
Oof.
we can meme it.
Oh, we can meme it hard. Speaking of memes, California is back in Keck or Cringe again. California restaurants have been banned from providing both plastic straws and kids' meal sodas.
What?
How are they going to use straws if they're banned?
Governor Moonbeam signed 41 bills into law.
That is his nickname. I am someone who evacuated California. That is his fucking nickname.
No, it's on his passport, which is
No,
pink.
it's his nickname. It's Governor Brown.
Oh, I believed it. I believed it.
Signed 41 bills into law on Thursday, including banning. So yeah, it's completely illegal as of Thursday. They cannot automatically distribute plastic straws, or they cannot advertise kids' meals with a soda.
Will there be a straw amnesty?
Hey Holmes, you want to buy some black market straws?
I got striped ones if you want.
So, okay. Interestingly, there's a little bit more data for you.
Does that mean I'm going to have to become a straw legger?
Brown signed 40 of the 45 bills authored by a Democrat, and 1 of the 2 bills authored by a Republican.
He's tainted now. He's a Nazi.
These are California Republicans. Think of more like the Vichy government.
He sided with the Republicans.
So he justified signing Assembly Bill 1884, prohibiting dine-in restaurants from automatically providing plastic straws with meals, with a statement that plastic is now a danger that pervades every aspect of modern life, and its single-use convenience has led to disastrous consequences for society that must eventually be eliminated. Like the shit in your streets.
And the
There goes the
needles.
tourism.
How much plastic is in each one of those needles?
Apparently, those are meant to, supposed to be sold back to the government for recycling.
Lol.
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh,
joking.
So
And how many
backwards.
of those make it into storm drains?
How many of those end up in kids' sodas?
Well, there's going to be more of them in kids' sodas than straws.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
All right, Spot, you want to finish this?
I've got a couple more kecks.
We've gone on way too long.
Yeah, it's been going on.
But you want this one.
All right.
You want this one. So CNN's ratings on Hurricane Florence coverage loses to Home and Garden Television.
Fucking wrecked my dude.
I wish you had that soundboard, Spot.
You mean you wish I had that soundboard?
Either or.
We need these things. We need these things.
So apparently, CNN's ratings last week continued to disappoint, even during the massive breaking news event of Hurricane Florence, as the network was not only edged out by competitors Fox News and MSNBC, but also the Weather Channel and HGTV.
The Weather Channel, HGTV of all people. All right, fine.
Apparently, CNN came in sixth place in primetime ratings, falling behind ESPN, Fox News, MSNBC, HGTV, oh God, even worse. Brace yourselves. The USA Network.
Wow.
They became behind the USA Network.
Blip. We got a class 1. Crash dive, crash dive, crash dive.
During the day, CNN was in fifth, Fox was in first, MSNBC in second, ESPN third, and Weather Channel came in fourth. And according to the Nielsen Media Research, Fox News programs had 10 of the top 25 shows. So Fox News is pulling ahead hard.
Oh dear.
Even with all those illegals.
Oh my.
They watch Telemundo and Univision.
Okay, I told you wanted that.
All right, Spot.
All right, gentlemen. Closing thoughts. Beggar Hero?
I think we're just gonna see another week of hissy fits.
That's been daily since November 8th, 2016.
Yep, that's gonna go in for another year.
7. I'm sorry, 6. 6 years. Blop?
I do not tire of this quote. Isn't it funny? You know, when I came here 17 years ago, and I said I wanted to lead a campaign to get Britain to leave the European Union, you all laughed at me. But I have to say, you're not laughing now.
Sewell?
Oh boy, the world is... It's getting fun. Break out the marshmallows, boys and girls, because I think there's going to be a lot of fires.
Caleb?
Oh, well, I, for one, welcome our new Chinese overlords here in Venezuela, but please, for the love of God, get me out of here.
We'll try to get you a helicopter with a floor.
Yes, please, as soon as possible.
Unfortunately, the end point is going to be Cuba. We'll work on trying
And because
to
you
get
accepted your Chinese overlords, the floor is made out of rice paper.
AK?
Oh, I just want this crazy ride to end. Please.
The ride never ends, my dude.
It never ends.
Bigfoot? If you have anything to contribute at the last moment.
I
I don't.
Okay. And Wandering.
fuck Christine Ford and fuck her lawyer.
Why would you want to do that?
What? Fuck off.
He's attracted to Gary Busey.
Okay.
That's natural. That's understandable. I mean, it's Gary Busey. So.
I mean, let's face it, we've had weirder. I mean, we had seen here last week when the fuck Ocasio-Cortez, so...
Okay, they all have crazy eyes. What is the number one rule of crazy? Don't stick your dick in it.
True. And honestly, I got nothing, gents. I got nothing left. I got nothing left. This has been a day. So, good night, everybody, and please welcome the new politically correct language of person of size.